Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Make sure you guys watch from start to finish. That really helps the channel grow. But with that being said, let's get into it. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Ellen is so
complicated.
You know, again, like somebody that I've known for such a long time. It's so weird now. Like her public perception of her is like more true to, I think she's mean, like a mean girl. Also, she would be real nice. I think she always had like kind of negative feelings towards me because her girlfriends and wives always liked me. Yeah, Ellen was like really weird and not nice to me for most of my career. And like, cause I opened for her in the 1980s.
Oh, you did?
When she was a headliner in comedy clubs and not way before her big fame. When I would do her talk show in the 2000s, she acted like we just met. And I'm like, bitch, what? Like, that's weird. Like,
Right.
it's like, we go way back.
Bitch, wait.
Like, it's so creepy and weird. But the other thing was David Bowie had been on the show and he was so excited that the night before that I had come to his show wearing this giant Chinese emperor outfit. He was really thrilled about it and he talked at length about it. And she cut it out of the show, which made me so mad. The producer, who's a really good friend of mine, had to call me and tell me, I can't believe she did this, but she cut it out of the show. But you need to know that he was going on and on about your outfit.
Oh
He
my
loves
God.
you.
Throughout history, you hear about certain tales that took place. The former president, George Washington, the guy who won the Declaration of Independence, there's stories about him in several books where they call him Bulletproof George Washington. Certain First Nations people from the Native Americans, you know, some of the chiefs and warriors, after the resolution came to and they divided up the land, they wanted to meet this powerful warrior that was bulletproof. One of the chiefs said they shot him 17 times. He did not die. They ended up telling their other warriors, don't waste your ammo on him. He has a great spirit protecting him. You can look this up. There are books about this event. They found bullet holes in his garments, his clothes. They killed his horse. He didn't have one wound. Nobody can explain this. This is real facts. This is documented in history, and there's books about it.
So where is he supposed to be buried at?
If he died at all.
When we went to World War II, those kids, 18 years old, 17 years old, those kids went to war until the war was over. Like now, you know, in the Navy, in the Marine Corps, it's a 6-7 month deployment. In the Army, sometimes it's a 14-month deployment, and then they're going to rotate back to the States. In World War II, it's like, oh, cool. Yeah, we're at war. You'll be home when it's over.
So are there generic white dudes like me that are in the cartel in America?
Yes. So one of the people we interviewed, that was my favorite interview, one of my favorite interviews ever on Trafficked, was a guy that we called El Gringo because he was a gringo.
I get called that by all my Mexican friends because I lived in Texas for a long time. I know that. I was like, yes, that's me. Yes.
Me. Yeah, we thought it was a brilliant name because he doesn't even speak a word of Spanish. I don't even think he's been to Mexico, but he had connections with the cartel. He was involved in the drug business, and then they realized he was a really good distributor. But here's what was amazing. When I asked him, how do you distribute your drugs? Because he would get massive amounts of fentanyl, meth, cocaine, whatever it was that the cartel had and wanted him to distribute. It's not as if he can ask, I want 10 kilos of cocaine, ship it to me. It's whatever the cartel decides, it's what he's going to be shipped. And once he has it, he has to figure out how to, distribute across the U.S. and to his different buyers all over, a lot of them in small town America.
Also, why Arizona? That's what we tried to answer. Try to figure out why do the people who have the most successful autism care businesses in Maine all have ties to Arizona? To give you an example, we go to visit Paul Manura's office, the Office of Legends Residential Care in South Portland. It's in an office suite. Unlike the home healthcare offices that the Somalis are running, this is attended. This appears to be an actual business, and there are people there. The first time I'm there, I notice right across the hallway is Golden Home Group Services, which does the exact same thing. And they're like right in the same building. Like, that's weird. It's the number 2 business on my list. Kind of jumped out at me. And I asked the secretary, I was like, so are you guys the same business or what's going on here? The secretary says, oh, I think the founders are related or something. I'm like, well, that's interesting as a journalist. And later when I talked with Paul on the phone for a phone interview, he said that they're just friends. But the founder of that, of Golden Home Group Services, Michelle Kanyambo, has a sober home in Arizona, in addition to being an immigration lawyer for Catholic Charities.
So quick little update. There's a lot of flooding going on. People are evacuating. We're pretty high up, as you can see the river's behind me. The land is eroding, so we are ready to go. And we'll probably be going across the street if that happens, to a neighbor's house. The only other option is going to the high school. Everything's blocked off. There's flooding all around. Definitely something to watch. The river is a lot higher than it's ever been. Hoping the dam stays solid. That's basically what we're hoping here.
Mandami, 3 months in, how's he doing?
He's doing worse than we thought.
Okay.
To be honest with you, his agenda was to tax the rich, freeze the rent, make things affordable, free buses, free grocery stores. He changed
Someone's
his
gonna
whole
pay for
tune
that.
about the police department. He was on the record vis-a-vis social media. He hated the NYPD. He called us every name in the book. But then, like most elected officials, not all, most elected officials are, at the end of the day, pieces of shit. They really are. Not all.
Right.
I don't want to offend my friends that are good, but they'll do anything to get elected. So what did he do? He started talking, I was venting. We said, okay, listen, this is all rhetoric. And let's see in January when the rubber meets the road and now there's no more talk, it's action. So let's look at his actions. We are not getting free buses. We're never getting free buses. How's that sound? Free grocery stores? Right. Tell me how that's going to work. Yeah. That's not happening. Those were all talking points. It was pretty funny. He wanted to freeze the rent. And although it wasn't his fault, but it was so funny it came up. Rent got increased in January like 3%.
Yeah.
It wasn't his fault, but it was it was just kind of funny. And now the average rent now in New York City is $5,000 in a head.
Man.
I heard he wanted to do minimum wage $30 out there. Can you imagine how expensive a burger at McDonald's is going to be for the average everyday person if they make minimum wage $30 out there? It's just going to hurt the middle class people. It's already expensive. You're already not middle class if you go anywhere else in the country. If you live in New York, you're upper middle class, right? But if you made that $30 an hour, he'd crush New York.
These designer stores are just playing in y'all face.
And you got people
man.
wasting money on this
going
nonsense.
viral for selling this bag for $1,700. A Walmart bag, Dollar Tree, Family Dollar. Look at all this.
Gloves. You saw a lizard walking through there.
Okay, tell me this is not the weirdest and grossest thing. I don't know what to think of it. Thing you've ever seen in a hamburger. Look at this. Hard as a rock. Watch. Anybody know what that is? Look.
Frozen? Is it frozen?
Yes, see it all the way up in here? A hamburger.
Put some gloves on,
It's
bro.
all the way in the bottom of here. Anybody have any clue?
35, 40 years ago, you could probably have a drink and watch the room get, eventually, and then make your way out. You had like maybe 20, 30 minutes to walk out that room before it got dangerous. Now you have maybe 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
That was going to be my question is which fires are more dangerous now or then? And you would think that we'd get better.
The industry doesn't care about that. They make what they make because it's cheaper. It's easy to make this chair, whatever country it's made in. People don't understand that. The construction industry doesn't want to put sprinklers in every private house in America.
Why don't they?
Because they'll put out more house fires to stop house fires from spreading. Their job is not to build fireproof houses. Their job is to build homes for people to live in.
I don't want to go through that. Cancer rates are skyrocketing in young people, especially young men. Got to be careful.
What is skyrocketing?
Cancer rates. So like colon cancer in particular, which I think like this combination of most young men do a bunch of energy drinks, a bunch of Zins. They don't have a good diet. They don't eat real whole foods. It's like, bro, there's a 124% increase in colon cancer since 2004. That's not good.
What's
Wallace Line?
The Wallace Line.
So you have Indonesia and you have Australia, right? You have Bali, you have the Philippines, and then there's Australia. There's an invisible line between these islands that for some reason animals cannot cross. Marine biologists have no idea. Biologists have no clue why. There's only like a 20-mile difference. On this side, on the Asian side, you have tigers, elephants, monkeys, all these types of things. But then 20 miles over, you have animals that
completely different species.
are completely different species. You have marsupials like kangaroos and koalas, and then you have dingoes.
They've never observed those animals crossing over.
Even the fish will not cross over this invisible line within the ocean. Birds will not fly to the other side. It's just a border that animals instinctively just don't cross for some unknown
I
reason.
wonder if it's like a gravitational force or something.
But it'd have to be something we can't measure.
Yeah.
Because you know they're trying to figure that out. They'd find gravity or energy.
And why animals are the only things that don't cross it.
Really quick, I'm in a staff meeting. This is the first time I knew I was in an evil business. I'm in a staff meeting. I'm not going to say who, but the chairman of the company is like, we talking about one of our biggest artists, and this nigga's having trouble. He's like, he's in a happy relationship. So he's having career trouble, but he's in a happy relationship. And I remember the chairman being like, man, we got to get this nigga away from her and back on drugs. Nigga, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I swear to God, I'm like, oh, this is what they was warning me for. Now, I ain't say nothing, bro. I just sat there. 3-4 months later, that same artist broke up with the girl, got on drugs, and became one of the biggest artists in the world. So was he wrong? Or was he just saying what he knew people were? Right? Because that's when it gets deep. Because when he said it, Joe, I was like, then this nigga the devil. And then 6 months later, the nigga's back on top. And I'm like, well, was he the devil or was he right?
Now, I knew already just from SNL and stuff like that, just things were weird.
Tell me.
Like I would
Tell me.
I would see.
I want to hear this.
You know, it's one time I saw a young male hooker. You know what? I can't by fact say it was a hooker.
Allegedly,
yeah. It was a young man. And I remember going home to my wife going, I don't know if this teenager was of age, what I just saw. Like, I don't, she's like, what happened? He came in and he's like, he's walking down the hall and he's clearly not a baseball player, you get the point.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm looking for a Kevin Spacey's room. Kevin Spacey's room? Yes. His dressing rooms are over there. You know, and then you hear like, ugh! Oh! Like, whoa.
On the set?
What is going
or
on?
At Saturday Night Live?
Yeah, amongst other. I just couldn't believe how the public had no clue about so many people in general. It's really.
I tell you what, Jim, I'm one of those people that I'm a little naive, and I didn't really know
Why?
either. Like, yeah, I've been in showbiz. Like,
Yeah.
I worked on. I was not on SNL.
NASA's.
These people lie, man. These people lie. You're in the business. You're behind those closed doors. You know Kevin Spacey. You know what's going on. We don't. We're starting to now, but back in the 90s, we didn't. I mean, we had our suspicions of certain people, but I mean, we didn't really know. Now that we got the internet and social media that exposes these things, and these people come out and say what was going on, but they know, y'all. They know. They're behind that. You know why he said Kevin Spacey's name? Because he already got outed for this. If this was, why didn't he come out in the 90s and say it? Just like the clip before, right? Why didn't he come out in the 90s and say this, right? He would have, but he would have said, I'm not going to say no names, right? These are little games they play. The only reason he said Kevin Spacey's name is because he's already been outed for everything. The machine's done with them, right? They always do that. If the machine wasn't done for him, he would have, one, never said the story, or number two, he would have never said his name.
The Ohio meteor was actually a 7-ton asteroid.
Insane.
So if you have not seen this news yesterday, yes, an asteroid or meteor exploded over Northeast Ohio.
Whoa.
So there's videos now that are making their way around social and the news, and it shows a huge fireball streaking across the morning sky, and then it breaks, and you hear this big sonic boom, and you could hear it as far away as Pennsylvania and New York from Ohio. So this is it, and then some of the people reacting in the moment after they heard it.
Damn.
Right?
Did an earthquake just come through? Yes. Our whole house shook.
And we thought that something hit like the roof of the grocery store. It was just a really loud bang.
And I just hear a giant thud, and then it persisted for like 10 seconds, and I'm just sitting there like, is this the end times?
It sounded like a bowling ball dropped on the floor above me. It was pretty loud.
But like,
why is there no warning system for this?
Well, how are they supposed to warn you?
I mean, they can warn us when missiles are coming and everything. Like,
not that far in advance, I don't think.
Yeah, way far in advance, actually. Yeah, the radar picks it up, and then they send off the.
Well, it was traveling at 45,000 miles per hour before it started splitting up. So yeah, then scattered fragments just shot all across the whole place. I mean, that's so crazy. Then I'd want to go find a piece of it afterwards, but like, whoa.
Yeah, I'd be dope to find a piece of it.
Take away this commute and watch how much your life thrives. Commuting is a silent energy killer. It literally took me getting rid of the commute and going back to it to realizing that this shit right here is sucking all the life out of me.
Like, what's the purpose of school?
Why you go to school? We ain't learn nothing. You ain't get it. They took you to school to get ready for work. It's the same many hours, you dumb.
Yeah.
Right? They want you programmed.
Yeah.
School was work. And listen, why do you work 40 hours? That was by design. That wasn't no accident. Because you work 40 hours, how much time you got to sleep? You working 8 hours, you sleep, you don't got time to do nothing. They understand that. You spending your life like that. They took your life when they made you work 40 hours.
Yeah.
They knew it. Because it don't take, listen, man, it don't take 40 hours to make $300 a week. We make that in 5 minutes. Right. Legit, legally.
Yeah.
But they don't tell you that. That's why working at McDonald's don't think making $1 million is easy, because how many burgers do you got to make at McDonald's to make $1 million? Right? Because they think that everything is about transaction. They transaction.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a transaction no more. I make more money without making a transaction.
Mm.
I'm just keeping it real, right? But we've been f***ed up. So between God and money, we don't know what to do.
If you donate a kidney, what happens to you?
The kidney donation recovery, one of the most mentally challenging things I've done, because I was so scared about the surgery, like the donation part.
Yeah.
It was the easiest part because I was asleep. You wake up and I felt the worst pain I ever felt in my entire life. I was crying, asking for pain meds. I was in the hospital for 2 days, and they take me home and they're like, hey, you can't lift anything more than 10 pounds. Almost everything that you actually need to do day to day is more than 10 pounds. I can't drive. I can't do anything. Dude, I couldn't even shower my own self. My wife had to come in, shower everything. Everything was so bloated. I could go to my second knuckle of how much everything was inflamed around there.
Yeah.
Even then, like, the doctor was like, hey, you gotta walk. And I would walk 2 houses to the left and back, and I was exhausted. I was like exhausted, more than I've ever been in my entire life. And then the pain meds were kind of helping, but I didn't want to take more than I had to. So I couldn't sleep because of the pain. I couldn't move, laughing or shit, even trying to fart hurt so much. I'm like, and you're like, how long of this has already been? And you're like, oh, it's only been a week.
You have satellites now that can literally beam in Wi-Fi, so that whether you have Wi-Fi in your home or not, they can start to track you. We are now moving into building out the kind of surveillance systems that can literally track, identify, and integrate with not only our existing weaponry, but ultimately autonomous weaponry. And all those systems put you in what I call the panopticon. So we saw in the Middle East with the first war with Iran, we saw 11 leaders out of 12 sort of top leaders in science and government assassinated, because they're literally tracking everyone, and they can identify them and track them, and then you have invisible weaponry that can then take them out, or can identify missile strikes.
We were led to believe, just as newspaper readers or news consumers, that those 11 Iranian officials were targeted with human intelligence.
Greek fire. It was a weapon that was used by the Byzantine Empire. It was described by many historians as the equivalent of the atomic bomb for the ancient world. They used to throw flame to an enemy ship, and even if you go in the water, you keep burning. They try to recreate it today, but they don't know exactly how it was made. The cocktail was secret.
The exact chemical makeup of the weapon is unknown. However, the fact that water is unable to extinguish it leads some to speculate the active ingredients was calcium phosphide, made by heating lime, bones, and charcoal. On contact with water, calcium phosphide releases phosphine, which ignites spontaneously, actually making the weapon equally dangerous, if not more so, on water as it is on land. That's nuts.
Google Anthony LaVey's death. It's pretty interesting.
What is it?
Apparently he started screaming out. He had a vision of hell and started screaming out, no, I served you, I followed you. What are you doing? No. I've read good sources that he didn't die well. LaVey and Satanism was copied after the Catholic Church. They have sacraments, they have the sacrament of confirmation, they call their priest.
Really?
Yeah. Just like we have, I'm high liturgy, trad Catholic. So given the choice, I'm going to Latin Mass, Gregorian chant, the whole thing. And then you've got on the other spectrum, I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. I just don't want all these rules of religion and everything in between. The occult world works the same. You've got everything from I'm spiritual, but not religious, meaning I'm not ritualistic. I do a little Wicca, all the way up to your full liturgical satanic rituals and everything in between.
Guys, I don't think chocolate's supposed to look like this.
Why is it so like elasticy? I'm gonna bend it. Look at that. It's like slime. This is real chocolate. No, this is fake real chocolate, bro. It's like poop, bro. This is literally like slime, bro. Look, I'm literally peeling it.
Want to see something diabolically disgusting today? Let me learn you something. Check this out. I don't know how this is legal, but this is a normal single unit of black printer ink, okay? It's $63 for a single unit. There's a 1/4 ounce of fluid in this, okay? There's 128 ounces in a gallon, so you'd have to times this price by 512 to see how much this costs per gallon. 63 times 512 is roughly $32,000 per gallon of this stuff, or roughly the price of a used mobile home down south. You're telling me a gallon of this crap is worth somebody's home down south? I'm not talking about a mansion for you in the back. I'm talking about just a normal mobile home. Or the price of 6 ounces of gold. Of course they got these things locked up. That's insane. This should be legal.
You'll see all these $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 houses. Well, here's one. There's one. All right. I want to show you what these son of bitches are made out of. You see that? Look at this shit. Hold on. It gets better. Okay. Now, behind all those bricks, right there, there's this. Ain't shit to it. Y'all want y'all's goddamn homes built out of fucking cardboard? 200 G's. 200 G's.
They don't want the truth to get out.
So do the Freemasons really like have power, stuff like that? I know it's different types of Freemasons too.
Absolutely. Any city or state where you see obelisk, those are Freemason cities.
Washington, D.C.?
Absolutely.
What other cities have obelisks? I think St. Louis has one, no?
Yep. Any place you see an obelisk. And their god is Satan.
That's what. Never mind.
Yeah, so yeah. Look.
I don't recall.
Bro.
But I can tell you, if somebody told me if I repeat something, that they gonna kill me.
Facts. I got told that same bullshit. So, that's why.
Mexican jumping beans are so creepy to me. Like, I don't know how people go their whole lives without knowing the truth. Don't you think they're not real beans? You're probably familiar with them from seeing them at like truck stops or gift shops. You might be asking yourself, like, what makes them jump? It's because they are actually seeds filled with bugs. They're a species of moth that's native to Mexico. And these moths lay their eggs on top of these like bean-like seeds. But these bugs then eat their way inside of the bean and then live in the bean when they're a larva. But these Mexican jumping beans hatch, guys. Like, by the time you're not interested in them, you probably forget about it, and then you see moths around. It's because your Mexican jumping beans hatch. And you're supposed to play with them by like putting it in your hand or putting it in the sun, but that could kill the larva. And they jump because they're trying to get away from what they think is like the hot Mexican sun so they can live. So when they're jumping around, they're literally burning alive. Like, this is torture for them when they're jumping around. And we just give it to kids and think it's like a fun little thing. And yes, it says like in the fine print, like this is a bug, but no kid's gonna read that. Let's be so honest. Did you have Mexican jumping beans? Let me know. And follow my TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube for more. It really helps when you interact.
So I'm not sure here what's going on in North Myrtle Beach with these people with white robes on. This is scary. This is just really scary. I'm trying to make this bigger. Oh dear. Yeah, what's going on? This doesn't look right to me. I don't know if anybody would agree with me, but yeah. When you were in this crazy life, I've never seen anything like this. Living on the beach for this long. This looks like a cult. They're all laughing at me too, like you know.
I don't blame any of the restaurants or the beaches for charging astronomical prices.
Look at that. Who wants to go to that beach? I don't know. I guess I've always been antisocial back in those days. Even still now, like, if I pulled up, even if I was partying, I don't want to go there. That looks miserable. That does not look fun to me.
For spring break this year. Y'all really thought y'all was gonna go into people's restaurant broke? I seen a girl who said that, oh, they charging $300 per table. Yes, bitch, I would be too. Y'all not finna come in here with y'all slides, lashes, and lace fronts, book bags and shit, just to run out, just to do a dine and dash. No, in order to even sit in my restaurant, you're gonna have to pay a fee. That ensures me that you not finna dine and dash. All I've seen from Houston and Daytona Beach was a bunch of nonsense. That's it. So y'all really just went to spring break just to get in the fights? Just to get arrested? Like, y'all didn't even have any fun. It's the fact that half of y'all knew the people that y'all bought with y'all didn't have any money, so y'all couldn't even enjoy it. Y'all had, y'all could see the look on their faces. They were literally just standing around contemplating on what they were going to do because somebody ain't got enough money, and the person who do got enough money don't want to let the other person know they got enough money because they don't want to pay nobody else's way. Another girl ended up in the hospital. Like, what kind of spring break is y'all doing? Y'all, this is not spring break. That is not how y'all do spring break. Y'all is doing it totally wrong.
I can tell you who the meanest one I ever met was.
Uh-oh.
Her name is Ellen DeGeneres.
Oh, shit.
It's crazy that all this stuff's come out, like, about Ellen being mean. Because when I met her, I thought she was really mean.
Where'd you meet her?
I met her at the VH1 Big and 04 or Big and 05 Awards, and it was when her show was like, I guess she was the big thing at the time, and all the like.
Her sitcom or her Ellen show?
The Ellen show, or the one where she like in her her talk show.
The talk show.
So she was there, and I guess I was in the green room, and there wasn't that many people in the green room, so everyone like got to talking pretty good, and like someone like warned her that like one of the toilets was broken because it was like these kind of like those fancy outdoor toilets, and she was like just gave a really rude response, and then she was just smoking cigarettes like in her
Ellen
assistant
was
like,
smoking cigarettes?
yeah, I was so surprised she
Wow.
was smoking, and she's like, so what do I got to do? Like, and she's just pissed to be there, and then she comes out on stage and she's like all like funny, nice Ellen, you know, like the person that they think she is.
Wow.
So I talked to her. And she had no interest in talking to me at all. She, I don't know, she seemed to hate me, but then she seemed just to hate everyone. So I wasn't surprised when everyone came forward saying that Ellen is a tyrant.
Yeah.
Well, what about working with Britney Spears? Did both you?
Britney, she was perfectly
She
sweet.
was cool.
She was cool as
Super
fuck.
nice.
She was perfectly sweet, and if anything, she was just. I felt Britney Spears was insulated by people trying to keep you away from her. But like if you could get to her,
She's down
she
to
was
earth.
just
She was really nice.
couldn't have been
Yeah, super
sweeter.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because remember there was a helicopter flying above just because they knew that Britney Spears was out there filming.
Really?
Paparazzi in the helicopter.
That's next level.
That is next level. Like.
Especially like, what does it cost to get a helicopter up in the air? You know, it's not
insane.
a drone.
Yeah.
It's a fucking.
I can tell you what
Yeah,
it
we
costs
know
to
what
get
that.
Yeah, wow.
To maybe get a photo, it's a huge investment.
What about working with Kim Kardashian?
She was cool as hell.
I heard she was nice.
Yeah, she's super laid back. Like, you know, I met Kim Kardashian a bunch of times.
Yeah, I've always heard she was really nice.
Yeah.
Who have you met that wasn't so nice?
Lindsay Lohan.
No, Lindsay Lohan was always super sweet to me. I partied with her a lot.
Okay.
I remember hearing some of those party stories.
Yeah, Lindsay Lohan. I partied with her a lot.
Australia right now is actually fucked. Look at this. $40, bro.
Jeez.
You can buy piss for cheaper than that. Bro, $9 for fucking milk. 12 eggs for $15. Yeah, mint. That's what I earned in the first year of my apprenticeship. This is the fucked one. Look at this. Oil. $65, cunt. Are you kidding? Bro, for me to try eat healthy and do a weekly grocery shop, it'll cost me like $200 just for myself. How the fuck are families of four surviving?
That's my question, y'all. Like, how are people affording to live right now? How? It is so crazy. And I see people in brand new cars. Restaurants when I drive by are packed. I'm like, what are they doing? What are they doing? And this will be like a Tuesday afternoon. Like, what are they doing? What do you do? I do YouTube. Is everyone doing YouTube? Like, what are people doing?
I have not brushed my teeth since I was 8 years old.
That's even fall out, man.
Oh yeah, I'm 62 years old and I got every one of them, never had a cavity, and I've never had any problems with them. Go figure that one out.
8 years old?
No, I just do hydrogen peroxide. No, the reason why, go on a YouTube video and watch if you put Crest on a toothbrush, take that same toothbrush on a rusted chrome bumper and watch it just take all the rust right off the bumper. Now that's the same thing that you're cleaning your teeth with. What you're doing is you're withdrawing the enamel. In other words, you're taking the enamel, the protection off your teeth when you brush.
All right, cool.
Look, I'm a naturalist, okay? I don't believe in chemicals or any bullshit. I don't fart unless I'm on the bathroom.
Hey, cuz you on bull, man.
But I'm 62 years old, healthy as a flipping horse. So as long as I'm staying healthy.
Confirm, you're
Looks good for 62, right?
I'm serious. I don't have nothing ashamed to be about it.
Okay, hold on a second. If we were in 2019 right now and someone made a video saying, hey, here's what's going to happen in 2020, 21, and 22, including the 2 week to flatten the curve, which turned into 2 or 3 years, and all the other crazy stuff, you'd want to hear about it, right? To be prepared, to be aware, to know what's coming around the corner. Well, we have an idea as to what is about to happen because of the energy crisis that's looming right now and really in the midst. So listen to this. The International Energy Agency released their Sheltering from Oil Shocks report on Friday. And they listed steps. This is kind of like when we have advisories coming out of the World Economic Forum saying, well, we should probably do this if we want to slow the curve. This is another version of that. And this is what they're suggesting to do to be able to slow or stop the effect of the supply shock. So this is a 10-point plan. And if we were to follow the plan, restrictions to movement would be apparent. Now, to clarify, some of this is not confirmed. Some of this is opinion. Some of this is conjecture. We're wondering how exactly this is going to pan out. But listen to this. You got to read between the lines. Alternating days that you can drive on the road based on your license plate. Speed limits lowered everywhere. This is just what they've tabled. It's not confirmed. It's not mandated or anything yet. Car-free Sundays was suggested. This says 40% of flights cut, but that's not confirmed, but there would be less air travel. Working from home is already being suggested in Vietnam, Thailand, and all throughout Asia. Carpooling would be heavily suggested. And also people would want to do that anyway if the price of gas and diesel is through the roof. Now, they're going to call this temporary energy measures. We know that. However, remember, it was supposed to be 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and it lasted 2 years. They're calling it temporary energy measures during a war, but wars last decades. We know during Shmovid-Shmeintin, that took away many people's right to gather. This could affect our right to move. Now, I don't have all the answers to this or solutions per se, but we need to stay strong like we did during 2020, be aware that other things are going on, and spread awareness.
I mean, why don't we have say in this? Like, why are they bombing these big time oil factories that don't just supply Iran, don't just supply the Iranians, they supply us, the whole world. First of all, why are we even getting our things from a place that wants us dead, supposedly? Why are we even getting things from China when they're the biggest enemies of us, supposedly? Why are we getting things from Iran when they have weapons of mass destruction, supposedly? Why, if we attack them, it affects us? Why are we getting our stuff from them? Because it's cheaper, and we're still getting our stuff from them, even though we're at war with them. They're still allowing it to come over because money talks. But yet we're going to bomb their stuff, and it's going to be more expensive for us. But we're going to continue to get that stuff from them, that oil. that produces everything in this freaking country. I don't understand it. I mean, I understand it. We're just pawns. They don't care. Trump and whoever the leader is over there, and Trump and the leader of China, they're best buds. They come, Putin, they're best buds. They come over. We roll out the red carpet in San Francisco. Chinese flags all down the street, but yet they're our worst enemy. It's a game, y'all. And are we ever gonna like say enough's enough? We don't want this war. Are we ever going to? I'm sick of it, y'all. I'm sick of the nonsense, the games.
I know that the Nephilims are the ones that are keeping us locked. And let me tell you what I understand. They are the Egyptians. They're everything, because y'all don't understand what they understood. They was here so long, they learned how to manipulate energy.
Yes, they can change their physical form.
Yes.
They can walk in and out of this dimension.
Right.
And that's what people are ignoring, because these piece of shit pastors won't tell people that it's not just one God.
Right.
And that's the whole issue. So when you see Congressional Rep Luna, Tim Burchett, having whistleblower meetings and they speak about a galactic federation, that's the same thing in Psalm 82 about this divine council of gods.
Right.
So I believe there are multiple gods. Some of them demand worship. Some of them demand sacrifice. And the more powerful ones don't don't intervene directly, but subconsciously.
Right. A human leg was found in the rubble after the Oklahoma City bombing of 1995. But the problem was none of the victims were missing a leg.
What?
So in 1995, Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols committed one of the worst tragedies in American history when they put a bomb inside of a car and blew off the side of a federal building in downtown Oklahoma City. So 168 people would lose their lives, right? But when they started cleanup, they found a leg, just a random leg. So they did some DNA tests on this leg, right? And it turns out that it belonged to this lady named Lakeisha Levy. She had actually died on that day from the bomb. But the problem was that Lakeisha was already buried with all of her limbs, so they thought, right? So they had to go and dig her up and take the leg that was with her out and then put this leg in, you know, because clearly this is the wrong leg, right?
So it was somebody else's leg that was with her.
Yeah, basically they buried her with someone else's leg. So once they got this other leg out, they started doing DNA tests and trying to figure out like who this leg belonged to, right? But the problem with that is that she was already embalmed, and so it was difficult for them to get any type of DNA sequence off of an embalmed leg. But the weirdest part about this whole story is that there was never a 169th victim that ever came about, right? So every person that passed that day, all of their limbs and body parts were accounted for. They weren't missing legs or missing anything,
So this
right?
was an extra person.
It was literally just an extra limb. Like, we have no idea where this leg came from.
I feel like the whole movie was referencing human trafficking.
I can see it.
Let's just get past Woody being stolen. That's not the only reason. It just gets weirder. Jesse, Bullseye, Stinky Pete, they're in captivity forever until they need to be used to the other people's benefits. Al, taking pictures and sending them off to get approval. Only being able to sell everything if he met certain quotas. It emphasized in a joking manner on Al working right across the street from his apartment where he does his business, in which I think that emphasizes how these creeps walk among us and this stuff happens all around us without us knowing. I mean, like, hey, I'm not. Damn. Isn't it kind of crazy? Like now, like, now you're gonna start. Now you're gonna start rethinking Toy Story 2.
It's like printing my own money. Yeah, what? Oh, Mr. Konishi. Yes, I have the pictures right here.
He was in an explosion. He was in the lobby and the third explosion, the whole lobby collapsed on us.
What was it like? What was it like?
Horrible. No. The whole building just collapsed inside the lobby.
Is that a secondary explosion?
Yes, it was.
That was the...
Yeah, definitely a secondary explosion. But we was inside waiting to go upstairs. And on the way upstairs, the whole fucking thing blew. And it just collapsed on everybody inside the lobby.
Someone from the first tower coming down, secondary?
I don't know about the first one, but I know the second one, it was terrible. Then there was a third one, too, after that one. Yes, sir. Everybody's inside the building waiting to go upstairs, and they just let loose. Everything just let loose inside the building.
So what you told me is that there was a plane, whatever hit the building, and then a secondary explosion.
It was like 3 explosions after that. We came in after the fire. We came when the fire was going on already. We was in the staging area inside the building, waiting to go upstairs. And they exploded. The whole lobby collapsed on the lobby inside.
Just mayhem after that?
Just man, everybody tried to make their way out. Trying to help all the brothers get out.
It's gonna come out one day, y'all. Like, I'd say, what are we, 2026, like 2050, 2060? It's gonna come out. They're gonna release the files. It was an inside job. Nobody's gonna care because we're gonna be long gone, right? The ones that do care are gonna be long gone, and the ones that are gonna be on the social media and all that, they're not gonna know the experience, right? It's gonna be in the history books. So yeah, it's gonna come out 2050, 2060.
Because for the first time in her life, she says she's in a human body. Those are her exact words. And honestly, how are we supposed to understand that? Just look at this girl. Don't you feel like she's not quite like everyone else? There's something unusual about her. Her eyes look so strange, but at the same time, she seems genuinely happy. It reminds me of the kind of eyes we see all over TikTok where people call that expression the demon look. And the same thing seems to be happening here. But why would she say it's her first time being in a human body? Doesn't that sound at least a little weird? The video almost feels like proof that sometimes people give in to something we can't explain. Something strange like an entity that's not from our world. Or maybe it just looks that way. So what do you think is really going on here? Have you ever seen anything like this before? Or is it all fake? Just a way to grab attention and go viral. Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm really curious what you think.
So why is it like considered a myth then?
It's not considered a myth from the First Nations people, all the indigenous population, all throughout Africa. It's only considered a myth by the people who live in the Matrix.
I feel like wouldn't they be some sort of endangered species that's on a list?
If you make them an endangered species, all logging companies have to shut down immediately.
Maybe got turned all demons into worms and into parasites.
The parasite stuff is totally bizarre. These things look like straight up monsters.
Yeah, parasites are not what people think they are. I would have no issues making the leap that parasites are demonic.
Jesus is casting out a demon and heals somebody of some kind of physical ailment.
And some of these things cannot pass other than fasting, prayer and fasting. When you fast, your body eats itself and it kills those things and they starve and they die. Literally, there are parasites that you cannot get rid of unless you fast. And some of them you've got to fast for like 30 to 40 days to get rid of.
And in the Essene Gospels of Jesus actually cast a demon out of a guy and a worm comes out of his mouth and he crushes the worm with 2 stones, which is a parasite.
I think they take the form of many things, but I think parasites are probably one of the most common.
Do you remember that movie, The Sword and the Stone, that old Disney movie?
Mm-hmm.
And so when Merlin is having a battle with the witch transforms into an elephant, and then he turns into a mouse. And then so eventually she becomes a dragon, and he becomes some kind of a sickness for the dragon.
Madam, I have not disappeared. I am very tiny. I'm a germ, a rare disease. And you caught me, Mim!
Demons, bro.
Parasite. He becomes the parasite.
Right, exactly. I mean, I think that's exactly what they're showing you there.
Has Iran attacked the U.S.?
Yes, because when I was over in Iraq, they are the ones that introduced the EFP, a roadside bomb. Killed a lot of my friends. This isn't what this is about. This is about what Israel wants. This is about nuclear weapons that probably don't even exist.
Trump's own Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, testified in front of Congress there is no evidence that Iran is building any sort of nuclear weapon. Don't forget that Obama signed the Iran nuclear deal. That required that in order for us not to put sanctions on Iran, that they would agree they would not seek a nuclear bomb, and they would allow international inspectors to come in and inspect anywhere in Iran to make sure that this was true. In 2018, Trump said, I want to put sanctions on Iran. Trump pulled us out of the agreement that allowed us to send inspectors in. And now we're saying they're building nuclear weapons.
Did they allow our inspectors to get in?
They did. We already had that. We took it away, and then we say we think they're building nuclear weapons, so we're going to go in.
Well, I see it right there, right? This was planned back in 2018. We're going to lose 2020, but we're going to be back in 2024. So we're going to get rid of this in 2018, right? Let this guy come in, do what he's going to do. Country's going to hate him, right? They're planners. They plan. Country's going to hate him. We're going to get back in. It might not be me, but it's going to be one of us. It's going to be one of the red teams. And we're going to get in. That Iran treaty we signed is gone. Now we got an excuse to go to war, right? It's all planned. All planned. One president got us out. The next one got us in.
Shut down. We beat so many attacks, but finally we're shutting down like the middle of next month.
Wow,
it's gonna be insane what happens. People can,
Yeah. So
the
this
fake
is
receiverships, the fake auctions, all of it's happening right now.
So what are you gonna do? You're launching a new thing, or what are you doing?
Yeah, no, it's now we'll be fine.
All right. Well, are you leaving? Is that why you're saying all this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am exhausted.
How old are you now, Alex? 52.
Bless you, sir. You want water?
He's got water. You good? You all right?
I'm tired. Yeah, no, we're winning. So
Check this story out for a second.
The New Generation and Sinaloa cartels pretty predominant in the area. Sinaloa cartel runs Myrtle Beach.
No shit.
Oh, absolutely.
What do you mean by that? Runs Myrtle Beach.
Like runs it. They are
runs what?
Like everything. Strip clubs, drugs, anything that comes in and out of Myrtle Beach is Sinaloa cartel. It used to, a long time ago, it used to be kind of like the Russian mafia. But something happened with the Sinaloa cartel came in and just took over. Dominated it. So
strip clubs, drugs.
Probably all the stores, so when I was younger, when I would go there.
All the stores.
Like Subway. Remember how Subway used to, like Subway in Myrtle Beach, you would go there, it would be like foreign exchange students from Russia. The wings, all the stores had Russian. Now it's just a bunch of Hispanic people. Growing up, it was always Russian teenagers. Now it's not no more. Now it's Mexicans, Hispanics. So we train.
How do you know they're cartel?
That's how we sounded.
So what? The cartel bought the businesses?
We just know that they operate out of Myrtle Beach. So anything in Myrtle Beach is probably like drug wise and guns is probably all being filtered through the cartel. Is what I mean. I'm not saying that they own the subways and things like that, but there's an increase of Hispanics in that area since the Sinaloa cartel has moved into that area.
What's important here is separating opinion from confirmed facts. While cartels like Sinaloa and CJNG do operate across parts of the U.S., claims that a cartel runs an entire city like Myrtle Beach are not officially confirmed. What we do know is that organized crime networks can influence drug distribution in certain regions, but that doesn't mean they control businesses, neighborhoods, or entire cities. It's easy for stories like this to spread and sound convincing, especially when they come from someone with a law enforcement background. But real information comes from verified sources, not assumptions or observations. So the real question is, are we looking at facts or just perception?
I think a couple of them, they were built over quote-unquote 500 years. I just don't see how that's practical whatsoever.
No.
How are you justifying that to anybody? It's like, so when is it going to be done? 500 years?
You can't get even project management today to go from, like, say, one construction company goes defunct and you're having another construction company coming to take over.
But we're also talking about empires rising and falling in shorter amounts of
Changes
time than
in
that.
currencies.
So, I mean, if you just think about just what we're told about the timeline of the United States, so we're just approaching 250 years now. You're telling me that somebody's going to start something in 1776 and it's halfway done right now? That's dumb, because I mean, based on the trajectory of the United States, like, will it ever be done? And so you're also talking about a situation where with wars and obviously resets, even though they don't like to tell us about them, the risk of knowledge being lost of actually how to still do the things that keep this project on track do not track. So that's the thing. It's like, so you're talking about like, I'm working on this thing that my great grandchildren won't even be able to enjoy. What is the actual point of doing that?
Did you ever see any of the old Shirley Temple stuff? It's bizarre. Watch this. How weird is this?
It's a little odd. Fast forward to the lap dance scene. Oh my god, I was joking.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. So hold on.
And now they're all carrying her.
Oh no. Oh Jesus. Oh, she's all coked up.
That's what it's supposed to represent. Bro, how weird is it?
80% of all the motels in the US are under Patel ownership.
You use this example of the Patels. What is that story?
Idi Amin came to power in Uganda in the 1970s, and he said Africa is for Africans. So what he did is he threw all the Patels out.
It was a family?
It's an ethnic group in India. The US took them in, and when they landed in the US, they basically really didn't have any skills that would allow them to get good jobs, white-collar jobs in the US. What a few of them started to do was they realized that if they bought a motel, a small 10 or 20-room motel, the family could live in one or two of the rooms, and they could use the money they got out and get a bank loan and run the motel. Now, motels are very labor-intensive businesses. So what they did is when a Patel took over a motel, they fired all the staff. And the family took over all the jobs, you know, the cleaning and front desk and everything else, right? And the Patels are vegetarians, and they live a very simple life. So when a Patel took over a motel in an area, what they were able to do is they were able to undercut the prices of all the other motels in the area because they have no labor. They have no payroll. They have no workers' comp, none of those things. And so they were, if everyone else is charging $25 a night, they're charging, $19 a night. So the occupancy was higher than everyone else. And
see, this is what I say in the last video, right? Greed. These people, when everyone was charging $25, they were charging $18, $15. And guess what? Their occupancy filled up. That's what's wrong. Like, that's what Chili's is doing, right? These people are going to charge $20 for a burger. We're going to charge $10. Watch our stock rise. Watch us start popping up everywhere now. Watch social media start doing videos of us to even grow us even more. Free marketing. But these other companies get greedy and they die. And the Patels, they grew to 80% of all the hotels in America. That's what I don't understand. The business mind of these people that are getting so greedy when they're making profit already.
they save their money, and then what they would do is buy the next motel, send the nephew to run it, and then buy the next motel. And this started happening in the early 70s. And when you fast forward to today,
what he told us was that the CIA can intercept anything from anyone, number one. Number two, they can remotely take control of your car.
Listen to this former CIA agent who is no longer legally bound by his NDA explain how Anne Hushé, Alan DeGeneres' former girlfriend, who is now deceased, could have possibly been unalived. It's absolutely mind-blowing. And all of you already know the viral footage of her after the accident, actually jumping up out of the zipped up bag before she's put in the ambulance, and then she just basically is pronounced gone. Take a look.
Through the car's embedded computer. To do what? To make you drive off a bridge, into a tree, to make you kill yourself, and make it look like an accident.
And this morning we have some sad news about actress Anne Hayes. She is in a coma after a car crash a week ago. And her family said last night she is not expected to survive.
Did she appear in any way inebriated or drunk or impaired?
She did not. She wasn't slurring her words.
years. She had bright, beautiful blue eyes. She was just a sweet girl.
Right now, the LAPD is investigating Ann for misdemeanor DUI and hit and run. They're looking into what role drugs or alcohol may have played in the collision.
Broke up with her because she had a lot of money, or you broke up with her because...
I broke up with her because her goal was to have a lot of money, and mine was to find love, and hers was I want 60 billion. Good luck. Why do you think she tried to put me in an institution, folks? I have not rambled on about her for one single moment. For 20 years, I have withheld my understanding. I have been canceled since the day I was born. I've been buried since the day I was born. Every single truth that I spoke, I was hit more, buried more, fucked more, or despised more.
Because you're gonna have her weary, and
all right.
Yo, Ellen, we go so far back. You don't tell these people how far back we go.
I know, but I wear T-shirts. I don't know what that means. Anyway, all right. Let's. I mean, you hold that.
Okay.
All right.
I can hesitate to the joke didn't work.
No, it's okay.
I don't want no problem.
No, it's okay.
Hey, so cheers.
So another.
You see what happens? You see what happens when you speak out when the machine's not done? When you say names? If she would have said, I'm not going to say no names, but she wanted 60 billion and she didn't want to be with me, whatever, she might have still been here. But see what happens when you come out and say these names when the machine's not done with them? Now, if she came out, now and said all these things, it's okay, right? That's why people are talking about Ellen and whatnot, because the machine's done with her. She fled the country, and she looks like crap now. She ain't gonna get that 60 billion. The machine's done with you. We had you, we used you, we got what we needed from you. Now everybody can come out and say your name. But see what happens when you do that before it's time. Take over your vehicle, got you on live camera, coming out of the body bag. Nobody even cared, y'all. No one even questioned it. Everyone still watched Ellen. Everyone, But that's what happens when you speak out before the machine's done with you.
For y'all, who a lot of people don't realize, you're in an airplane, you're not actually breathing the air from outside. Like, the air from outside is just not dense enough for you to breathe. So the air is actually pressurized. It means we're basically pushing a whole bunch of air in the cabin from the engine. In the event that all cabin pressure is gone, in the airlines they say, they dropped the oxygen mask. Here, in an airliner, if this goes up to 10,000 feet, then you're breathing air from 10,000 feet, which could get you hypoxic because not enough oxygen. So pilots are required to have these oxygen masks up in those levels. And so I'm gonna test the oxygen mask. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect to the oxygen in the airplane. All right, so I'm connected to the oxygen. Now I'm gonna go ahead and inflate this. You put it on, it'll be like a mask. So that's why they say pilots shouldn't have beards.
Some of them have figured out that the country's a scam. And here's the good news. They're not wrong. And when you figured out the country's a scam, you can approach it the way a con artist or a scammer would approach it, which is what a lot of them do. They invent mental health ailments they don't have. They take days off on end. They terrify their superiors into respecting their mediocre, shoddy quality of work. This is something that Gen Z has latched onto. This is something that I fully support. This is their way of rising through the ranks. They're taking advantage of people that they work with, and making them tolerate less and less work and work of a lower and lower quality because they've realized that a lot of this is bullshit. So they're like, why shouldn't I get in on it?
So now people who get these SNAP benefits can't use that money to buy chips. It means demand goes down for those foods because the government was subsidizing consumers to buy junk food. The government was subsidizing that, taxpayers, with the SNAP benefits. And so what happens is all of a sudden, people who were able to spend government money on junk food, now they can't spend the money on junk food. So demand goes down. And so what does Pepsi do in response to a decline in demand for its products? It lowers prices. That's how the free market works. The government subsidized consumers to buy junk food by giving them money to pay for it. And so that allowed the companies that sell that type of food to charge higher prices. When the government reduces the subsidy that it provides, now the companies have to cut their prices. Well, if it works with junk food, it works the same way with everything. Everything the government subsidizes costs more as a direct result of the subsidy. Why is education so expensive, particularly colleges? Because the government subsidizes students to go to college. The government arranges for guaranteed loans or directly finances low interest rate loans to make it easy for people to borrow money to pay for college. That means that colleges can charge more because their customers are getting money from the government to buy their product. What would happen if the government stopped doing that? The government stopped giving out grants and loans. Well, just what Pepsi did. They'd have to cut their prices because demand would go down.
Jump, float down, remember, no atmosphere, make it floating. Good.
It was me, Stanley Kubrick. I directed Apollo 11, July 69, Universal Studios soundstage. Everything you saw, the dust, the flag, the steps, my shot.
No atmosphere, make every move float, hold the pose longer, and step. Got it, hold it, reset the wire. Okay, eyes front, Neil, again, slow. Right, good, keep it.
Perfect. I made another tape earlier tonight. The words kept turning, so I'm doing this again. Clearer this time.
Turn a snag, hold on there. All right, reset, let's keep it floaty, boys. Ready with dust. And jump, float down, remember, no atmosphere, make it floaty. Good.
If Atlantis was Antarctica, and they had such a high level of civilization, look at the Baalbek platform in Lebanon. There is a platform which consists of 3 1,300-ton stones. 19 cranes of the highest industrial grade that we have today can't lift and move one of these. That gives you a sense of the level of engineering capability of the civilization. It's beyond ours. If you're a civilization that advanced, why do you isolate yourself to Antarctica? Antarctica is a place that's completely isolated, and it's sort of hidden away from all the other continents of the planet to the extent that we did not discover it until like the 1800s. If they were time travelers, they needed to isolate themselves from the timeline. You might decide to quarantine yourself to a place where you're not going to be observed by the other evolving societies on Earth, and Antarctica would be the ideal place.
I don't know how many times we're going to see celebrities make this same joke and the audience clap and laugh before people finally figure out, maybe, just maybe, they're not joking. And I think they have to tell us. Check this out.
Is there anything you've done where you go, oh, I didn't like that? Oh, yeah. Really? Yeah. Are you critical of yourself? All the time. Yeah, it just gives me the creeps to watch myself. We were doing this the show Alpha House, and I'm running for office again, and there's a big bus, and it had like a 10-foot picture of my face on it. Just, no. It made me want to go back to Satan worship. Well, it worked for me. It got me a career.
So he just said that that's what got him a career. I also noticed in this image, there's a big G on his shoulder. I don't know what this is from, what movie or what, but we all know what the G is for. One good thing about celebrities speaking out and saying things like that is that it should, in theory, if they're people worshiping the evil, it should invigorate people to know that there is a good. There is the opposite of Shmatan. There is God, and it should bring people closer to God. Seeing people, publicly talking about their worship of the evil side should reaffirm your belief in the good side. But I know that the best days for humanity are around the corner, 100%, and I have full faith in that. So I'm stoked, but this stuff has to get exposed, darkness to light, and then we'll be on our way.
You have no stomach.
No.
Where does your food go?
They created a pouch that holds 4 ounces of food out of my intestine. It's up here at the top. So I can only eat what you can hold in the palm of your hand. I eat about 1,200 calories a day. I'm full all the time. Like this. You gave me a cup of coffee.
That's a black coffee.
And a water, and that's gonna do me until 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. And then I'll say,
but that has no calories.
I know, but it's gonna fill me. And then I'm gonna say at 9 o'clock,
they lying and telling the world, well, this was saying. You know in the hood,
they lying.
where you get fake bodies. He dead. Yeah, the whole time he ain't dead. That's what Trump running around doing. They ain't killed nobody from Iran. They did the same thing before. Listen, I'm saying this. When I was coming up, they had a war, and this war was in Iraq, and they act like they Bin Laden. They never Bin Laden. So
you think Bin Laden still
is working for the government? Listen, let me tell you this: every time the government get attacked, they're getting attacked by something they told to attack them because they're getting attacked to establish fear in the community. They want everybody afraid. Because let me tell you this: this is what they also did. Listen, and it's true. I got the documents right here. I'm thinking about putting these documents out, but I'm not too sure if I want to put them out. But listen, the government, I got documents signed that states that the government did two things. One, they figured out what we was living at. They said we was living in hologram. And this is how they said they figured it out. They said they had a telescope. Well, the telescope costs a whole lot of money. They took one particular telescope and they took it down the furthest they can take it. They said when it went down, they noticed that it had pigments in it, like the videos. How the fuck is that possible? So then they did the light experiment after that. And so at the light experiment, they realized that everything do different when you're not paying attention to it. Right? And that's what they realized. And then they realized something else that was even crazy. They said, well, how does these things move? What is making these things move? And what they figured out it was the mind. Right? And a lot of people know this, right? A lot of people understand this. And it happened through the imagination that some call manifestation. Right? So if you're watching this, I'm going to say this. The world has been controlled by you the whole time. You just didn't know it. It ain't my fault. It's yours. Right? Because you don't understand this. Listen, once I understood it, I said, fuck it, I understand. And then I start using my imagination.
Whoo! What a banger today we had, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You made it this far. Y'all know what to do. I'm sure you already did it, but leave that like, comment, subscribe. Y'all busy day coming up today. Y'all busy day. Got to move some furniture around. Got to do some vacuuming with the shop vac. The baby's coming. The baby is getting ready to be here, so we're starting to get prepared. Going to make our hospital bags. We're going to do all that today. So I'm going to get this video edited out to you guys, and we're going to leave it at that, y'all. So I hope everyone out there has a good day. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the Man Cave. I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Later.